watch if anyone cared to follow the videos on this channel, there's a channel that I made last night. I think it's a like a dark. I'm in a like a I have like a shirt that says Skittles right there, and that's actually someone actually called me Skittles when I was wearing that, and like you can't have a nickname in case unless someone calls you that. That actually be a pretty cool nickname is Skittles, but and I sometimes I rock clothes with like references to like culture and like products that are like that are like dear to people, like so like M&Ms, Skittles. I don't know too many people that ever had a problem with a package of M&Ms. Skittles are cool too, all the way back to like I think in E.T. in the movie E.T. They have like some Skittles in there, and it's just really cool. I like the look and the aesthetic more so than just the candy in itself, because at this point I more so don't eat candy just for the sake of it. Although I did buy some Milk Duds today just for the sake of it, just for the hell of it. My aunt had sent me, my aunt was really cool, and she sent me like uplifting postcards with like little gift cards in them, like in the amount of like maybe 20 or even $25 for all of my life since I was a boy to now I'm near about like 40. I don't think she does it as much anymore, but she was doing it like especially in my 20s. And so I had a little gift card from her from like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago for like Menards of all places. And so I went there because I was trying to see like what kind of food can I buy at Menards for with that gift card, because that's that real life, that's that real independent life, that's that real hustler life. What can I do? What can I run me this little gift card? Yeah, it had been somebody that loved me, but what can I run me this little gift card for something to eat, man? What y'all got to eat up in here, up in the Menards? We got some nails, we got some paint, we got some shingles. What were you looking for? Y'all don't got nothing to eat? Well, I mean, like we got some candy, like you want some Milk Duds? Yeah, hell yeah, that doesn't sound that bad. Hell yeah, let me get some Milk Duds. Let me run me them Milk Duds. But but I digress a lot. But what I was reaching for in that video, at one point I was reaching for a word in that video, and I couldn't think of it, because a lot of times the reason you can't reach for very like what would seem like big words is just because they're not used a lot. So what they refer to is not incredibly sophisticated or even that difficult to pronounce, but just because they're not in common speech. Some of the impressiveness about a large word is that the word in itself is almost like a little bit of a password. I've done a video about a shibboleth in the past, and a large word actually might be a lesser degree of a shibboleth, which is that in biblical times, when they encountered people passing somewhere, they would need to test and understand their real true allegiance and heritage, which would speak to their allegiance, where a person comes from. In some places in time, in the past and present, you can actually be reprimanded and punished just simply for being where you're from, not necessarily professing to be about one thing or another, but just simply where you're from is consequential in the human experience, going all the way back to biblical times. So a shibboleth would be like a word that you cannot entirely pronounce or be familiar with without an authentic background. I was running that by some at Menards today. I was with there were some ladies there that were nice when I was on my way out. I was like, y'all have a nice day. And then the word y'all is kind of a nice word. It's kind of like endearing word. Like if some people come by, like watch, how y'all doing? Now that fool doesn't know me from Adam's nephew, but when I say y'all like that, the word y'all is kind of endearing. Now if I were to say how are you guys doing, that would sound a little bit more like who is this dude talking like this? You know, who the hell is this dude to talk like this as though he knows who the hell I am? If I say you, it wouldn't sound as cool like that. But I was walking through I learned that living in the South, I was a student in the South in Tennessee, a suburb of Memphis, in my junior year of high school, and I just was in love with I had been in love with the language before I went there from my experience in the Black church, like the Southern dialect and swagger. But it was really beautiful. But they would say y'all a lot like that. But it was kind of endearing. Some of the gestures in the southern, they would say Southern hospitality, but actually that actually exists within the language as much as the people. Because I've done other videos saying that the people are the language and the language are the people. Both the American people, the white Americans of the South, the Black Americans of the South, and both together, which are still the same people, generally, relatively speaking, as you can't actually completely isolate people or heritage. That's some of what's profound about a person who maybe of what's appreciated as a mixed heritage or mixed culture also, but mixed heritage, as it can be appreciated looking at someone, is that actually within reality, within human, there's no actual straight line, there's no perfect circles, and there's no straight lines in nature. Not the least of which the gradation between heritages and lineages that amount to like trends of ethnicity and appearance. There's actually no hard fast rules or straight fast rules. So a lot of the beauty of people who are multicultural or multi-ethnic background is that it speaks to the fact that reality is really diversified, completely perfectly diverse and perfectly unified for being diverse and perfectly diverse for being unified. And it can be pronounced in people that have a unique background. But I say that all people have a unique background, and all people are equally beautiful, yet uniquely beautiful. Each person's beauty is unique to them. It speaks to trends of other people that have loved them and have that they share a similar line of descent with. But all people are completely beautiful in their own way. And you see certain aspects of this reality from one person to another. If you were to know my brother and myself, you can see according to Arthur Avalon, when you have a real skill, like a real verifiable skill, a demonstrable skill, whether artistic or competent or whatnot, that's actually some of this existence that you are possessed of. You've come by a possession of a distinct capacity or degree of this existence is what you now are. That would be called a siddhi in according to Arthur Avalon in traditions of India. So sadhana would be like a spiritual quest, and by undergoing it, it's arduous and painstaking as deadly and dangerous as deadly and dangerous. But surmounting it and just initiating it, but also surmounting it, it amounts to different blessings. That would be when you come across, according to him, you may come across people that would have something that would be unique, that would be different from the ordinary run in the mill of people you would come across, and it may speak to something of their background that has lended itself to that. Some of that might be inheritance, which actually inheritance is a form of a prior iteration of you yourself, because I don't see that you're different than your ancestors. So that's a prior iteration of existence of yours would be your ancestors. But it amounts to there's trends, there's like groups of that, but then it's also individual. Sometimes when they say like soulmate, that soulmate doesn't necessarily refer to a romantic partner. Some of the people that you grew up with that really touched your life, you couldn't be who you are without your experiences of them, and they couldn't be who you are without your experiences of you. And the causation that would amount to landing you in the proximity of being in each other's life is deeply it could be almost pre-science or fate, for lack of a better word, in that it'd be almost imminent. What would amount to that or afford that? So from that standpoint, that's actually your soul group or your soul mate, and it's not necessarily limited to a romantic partner. And that's referenced by Gold Ray Twin Flames on the channel on YouTube as Twin Flames. And, so I got my motorcycle part right there. I was just doing a video. Am I loitering? No. So I'm about to start a shift, but I was just vlogging real quick.
I thought you were broke down.
Yeah, no, but it's all good. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. So so when you do the greatest of things, you actually got to do some explaining. But usually when you have to explain anything, your ass is in trouble. But what I meant to say is that so your soul group is bigger than is not limited to your romantic partners. But the word I was looking for in that book of Arthur Avalon, when you are familiar with a certain word, it would speak to your background. So I was walking through that store today, and I was like, y'all have a nice day. And then I went back. I was talking a little bit about shibboleth, this and that, and I did my little shtick about how yeg bombs would be more northern, and tirade would suggest southern. And I said, so y'all can appreciate that I would have a little bit of a southern background instead of saying, hey, you guys have a nice day. And so they appreciated that. But another word, but some of the impressiveness of a large word is just that it would speak to your background and how the hell you would come across that word somewhere. And another word is recondite, according to Arthur Avalon. So actually, that type of statement I made there is actually a recondite statement that it's similar to esoteric, where esoteric would speak to a privileged set of background, similar to nomenclature. Nomenclature would be like a field of activity. esoteric would be like a field of understanding. You'd be privy to it. But recondite is similar. That it's just not well known, and it is a little bit off the beaten path and obtuse and hard to come by. Is recondite. That's the word I was looking for in that other.